The Rice Concordat stands as a pivotal moment in the history of agriculture, particularly in the context of rice cultivation. This unique agreement, forged in the mid-20th century, reflects the convergence of economic, political, and agricultural interests among key nations. In this article, we delve into the origins, objectives, and consequences of the Rice Concordat. Origins of the Rice Concordat. The mid-20th century witnessed a global landscape marked by recovery from World War II, burgeoning economic alliances, and a growing awareness of the crucial role agriculture played in ensuring food security. The Rice Concordat emerged against this backdrop, with its roots traceable to diplomatic discussions between major rice-producing nations. Initiated primarily by the United States and key Asian countries, the Rice Concordat aimed to establish a cooperative framework that would regulate global rice production, trade, and prices. The participating nations recognized the strategic importance of rice as a staple food for a significant portion of the world's population, especially in Asia. Objectives of the Rice Concordat: stabilizing prices. One of the primary objectives of the Rice Concordat was to stabilize global rice prices. Fluctuations in rice prices could have severe consequences for both producers and consumers, particularly in regions heavily dependent on rice as a dietary staple. Ensuring food security. The signatories sought to ensure food security by fostering stable rice production. Recognizing the vulnerability of nations relying heavily on rice, the Concordat aimed to prevent extreme fluctuations in production that could lead to food shortages. Facilitating trade. By establishing agreed-upon guidelines for rice trade, the Concordat aimed to facilitate international commerce in rice. This involved streamlining regulations, reducing trade barriers, and promoting fair practices to benefit both exporting and importing nations. Key signatories. The Rice Concordat saw participation from several key nations, each with its unique interests and contributions. Notable signatories included United States. As a major rice producer and exporter, the United States played a central role in initiating and shaping the terms of the Concordat. Japan. A significant rice importer, Japan's participation was driven by its post-war economic recovery and the need to secure a stable supply of rice for its population. Thailand. As a major rice exporter, Thailand sought to ensure fair trade practices and stable markets for its agricultural produce. India. With a large population dependent on rice, India aimed to balance domestic needs with the potential for rice exports, contributing to its economic growth. Consequences and criticisms. The Rice Concordat had both positive and controversial outcomes. On the positive side, it contributed to the stability of rice prices and helped prevent extreme market fluctuations. The cooperative framework facilitated smoother international rice trade and fostered economic growth in participating nations. However, the Concordat faced criticism on several fronts. Some argued that it disproportionately favored the interests of major rice exporting nations, potentially hindering the economic development of smaller producers. Others raised concerns about the impact of the agreement on agricultural diversity, as it primarily focused on rice to the potential detriment of other crops. Evolution and legacy. Over time, the Rice Concordat underwent transformations in response to changes in the global economic and agricultural landscape. New agreements and trade frameworks emerged, adapting to the evolving needs and challenges of the participating nations. The legacy of the Rice Concordat endures in the form of subsequent international agreements and collaborative efforts aimed at ensuring food security, stabilizing agricultural markets, and fostering sustainable practices in the face of a growing global population. Conclusion. The Rice Concordat remains a significant chapter in the history of international agricultural cooperation. Born out of a shared recognition of the critical role rice plays in global food security, this agreement shaped the fortunes of major rice-producing and consuming nations. Its legacy persists in the ongoing efforts to strike a balance between economic interests, food security, and sustainable agricultural practices in an ever-changing world.